Hey, here's a little disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed in this podcast do not necessarily reflect those of the MAWP organization. And there are some themes and subject matter that may not be suitable for all audiences, so viewer discretion is advised.
I just found out that fucking red licorice is not licorice, and I'm gonna have a committee about it. Yep.
It's not.
I've been lied to my entire life.
Like, it's okay.
No, it's not okay.
It's just
I've been lied. That's the last straw.
Just eat Twizzlers instead.
oh, not Twizzlers.
Just eat those instead.
Red Vines is more akin to actual licorice. Twizzlers is nothing like licorice or red. Okay, so now I'm saying it, but the red stuff's not licorice. But
the red stuff's cherry, and it's nothing like it.
But it's good if it's good. If it's well made, that shit's really good. If it's fresh and soft, you bet. There was back in the day, back in the late 80s, when I used to frequent the Paradise Bowling Alley, Parasite. Part of my, there were things that I would just do all the time, and red vines was something that was a staple of my diet for a while. And I would eat a pack almost every Friday or Saturday night when Alan Matson and I would go hitchhike out to Parkland to go to the bowling alley to go and party. We'd find keggers from Kegs to Go or whoever was having a kegger that weekend, and we'd go and we'd hitch a ride to the keggers, and we'd hitchhike from kegger to kegger because the keggers would inevitably get busted, and then they'd
Isn't that where I met you again?
We would meet throughout our lives at these keggers. Yeah.
I met you at a kegger.
That sounds about accurate.
I pulled you out of the fire.
So,
you're the one who saved his life.
Yep, he's the one.
Disfiguring. You wouldn't have you might have got a little disfigured.
I would have lost. Yeah, I would have probably been, a little elephant eyes, but yeah.
I will say this: I did shove people out of my way to pull you out of that fire.
That's good.
They're going, dude.
So
actually, that's why I left.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, dude.
Oh, wow.
I'm not going to stand around a bunch of fucking morons and going to watch someone fall on fire.
That's true. That's a good idea. I like it.
And when I was younger, I was a little pissed about it, so I left.
So Alan and I would sit on one side of a kegger, and him and Kelly Graham would be on the other side of the kegger. And we'd just all be, getting loaded on the other side. And this would happen a lot. And then, and just running into you guys at Paradise Bowling Alley, too.
Mm-hmm.
The first time I ever dropped acid was we got it from you and Kelly just walked us across the street to his brother's apartment.
Brother's house,
and got it for us, and the second time I think also, because then I knew where to get it. I was like, oh, I know where to get it.
Dude, I did that with my uncle's pot dealer.
Nice.
Just knocked on his door. Who are you? I'm Dean's cousin, nephew. That was nephew.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
But it was in those days, so I ate licorice all the time, and I began to notice that after eating a whole pack of it, I would get a sore throat. It was just it just hurt every time, and eventually, just based on that, I would stop. I just stopped eating it almost altogether, and I'll have a strand or two once in a while. It was also during this period of time where I had one of my most vivid dreams ever. And licorice was involved in this dream.
What'd she look like?
Nope, it's nothing like that. So I'm in a warehouse, a loft warehouse, like a second, third, fourth floor, a big empty warehouse with the big windows along one wall, and it's pretty much an empty warehouse. And I don't know what brought me here, but I sit down on the floor, and I'm sitting there in between these two aliens. There's a red alien and there's a blue alien, and they're just kind of humanoid, and they're like aliens with somewhat elongated neck and a bulbous head, and their skin is sort of translucent because you can see the veins going through it and the blood and stuff pumping. They're weird and they're real. They're just kind of alienish, but one is blue and one is red, and they gave me some licorice to eat, and I started eating licorice. It's delicious. I'm eating licorice, and eating it. And then as I'm eating it, then I start shitting water, and water, just like a faucet, is shooting out of my butt.
Whoa.
and I can't stop eating the licorice. Like, I need to stop doing this. I need to get the fuck out of here. This is not good, but I'm doing it and it's happening. It's like, whoa. It's like just a faucet. There was no blue licorice. It was just, this is what's happening. But then I escape from the thing. I don't know. But the next thing I know, that I'm running through a maze of like.
Is water still shooting at
No, I'm not eating licorice anymore. I've got away. I've got away.
Okay, all right.
But I feel like I'm being chased now by these aliens. I don't ever see anyone chasing me. I don't know, but it's really important that I just keep running through this maze. Like, which way to go? Oh no. And there's not any dead ends. It's just an endless maze, and I can see it from above, and I can see it while I'm in it, and it's crazy, and it just goes on forever and ever into the apocalypse. Then I wake up and I'm like, fuck, I don't think I want to eat licorice anymore.
Goodbye, gray sky, hello, blue. There's nothing can hold me when I hold you. It feels so right, it can't be wrong. Rocking and rolling all week long. These days are all being free. These days are all.
All right. Now we're having a show. It's the show again. It's the MAWPCAST 1 radio program. We were invaded by Cody Foster Army. And we've repelled the attack. And
We're back on track here.
yep, mass troops along the border. We are
Any
ready,
wounds were taken care of on site.
ready to
We're okay.
roll.
Yeah.
If this is your first time here, this is a show where we talk about stuff and then we play songs from Tacoma. Tacoma and the general region around us, the scene that is Tacoma. Local music from throughout time. We will play these songs indiscriminately as we come across them or find them or feel like them. Or you say, hey, you should play the song, and then we'll play the song.
Yeah.
And we're the hosts. I'm Potter. This is Soundman Chris, and this is Ashlee Marie.
Nope. Hit the microphone.
Yep. Don't hit the microphone.
That was a big woo.
And so, in the last week, we've had a lot of new fans from around the world join the MAWPCAST fandom.
That's very
So,
cool.
yes, welcome to all our
Welcome.
friends from Europe. Like, we got some people from England listening.
Europe.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's cool.
Just in the last week,
Excellent.
we've had some people from Norway and Sweden and the Netherlands and Switzerland and Pakistan, which is not actually Europe, but it's still, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
That's cool.
That's cool.
Das
All right,
Vidania,
over.
Blitzkrieg, Haagen-Dazs to all of our new friends
Haagen-Dazs.
over in Europe. Yep.
Howdy.
Also throughout the States.
Chris is like, hi. Hi.
Hi.
Yep. So there we go.
Cool.
That's that. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
That's all I got.
That's cool.
That's cool. That's awesome.
That's a
though.
good way to start the show.
Yeah, I like that.
We got lots of great music to hear. I got that too. Got that covered.
Yep.
Very cool.
Right.
Ashlee and I were listening to a little bit of this Collider Live earlier. It was on when
liked
she
it.
walked in. Yeah, this is the show that's loosely influencing this show. Like, although they started it at the same time, a couple of these guys were doing this similar thing for a while. It was a more rowdy thing that they did on the internet. They called it the Schmoes No Show, and the Schmoes are just a couple of guys. There was this Christian Harloff guy and this Mark Ellis guy who's a comedian. They're both comedians, but now this guy, Harloff, does this thing, and that movie Trivia Schmodown that I've talked about a couple of times on the show that's starting to just take off around the country. Just this competition where people answer trivia about movies and win a belt, because you can be you can be a champion of this thing. Yeah.
Wow.
So that is why it's
Some big stuff.
yeah.
Well, what would your title be?
Champion of the
Just
movie
champion.
Trivia Schmodown,
Oh.
heavyweight champion. They've got a couple of titles now. They've got a tag team champion belt, and they've also got an intergeekdom. So it's like if you're just into like Star Wars and nerd stuff exclusively, if that's where you're like you would be more of an intergeekdom competitor because you know a lot about some geek stuff, although you don't necessarily have a lot of the memory. You do retain a whole lot from certain eras and pockets of stuff, but then there's some stuff that you're just a fan of and you're not getting too deep into it.
Yeah.
And it's just a casual show. It's just talking. It's like a morning radio show, which is exactly what he's trying to accomplish there. Let's do that morning radio feel.
Very cool.
a few people.
Yeah, we're like a mid-morning, afternoon, mid-afternoon.
Exactly. Because so growing up, like the morning shows evolved into talk shows. Like they used to be just like every other segment of radio. It used to be DJ songs. They'd play a bunch of songs, and they wouldn't spend a whole lot of time just blabbering. But that started to change. Even before Howard Stern came along, locally we'd have DJs like, it was especially true with Robin and Maynard. If you listen to much Robin and Maynard in the day, their morning time, they would just not play a lot of songs. It would start to just deteriorate into them just doing shtick and doing little bits of comedy or just talking. And like me as a listener, as a kid, started to get very frustrated with that. I was like, this is not what I want. Like, as good as it is, and they were good, and actually they did win me over, I still wanted more songs. I wanted a balance of music and the stuff. And Robin and Maynard moved more and more towards the talk and less towards the songs. And I was like, oh, I just can't hang with that. Yeah. Even though I'm sure they were still good. And they moved into complete talk radio at some point in their career. Because there was a talk station for a while, and they were like a flagship show on that station.
What show was that? Was that the...
It's like 101.5 for a while, I think. Some station like that became just exclusively talk. I don't remember what it was called. And I didn't get into it much. I tried. I like Robin and Maynard. I did try to follow some of those old KISW DJs throughout their careers because some of them were great. Like Steve Slayton, who went on to KZOK, his arch rival for so many years. What do you need, Chris?
Got poker of some sort. I'm just gonna try to use a stem.
There. What's this? Oh, right there. Steve Slayton was one of the premier DJs of the region. He was just phenomenal. I love that guy.
I didn't know that Adam Gerke was on KSW Metal Shop.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he... I had a show where he was the...
You're not talking into your mic at all.
We had a show where he was
Adam Gerke.
Adam Gerke, yeah. We had a show where he was the announcer kind of guy and stuff, and it was a benefit of some sort. I can't remember exactly what benefit it was. But Astor House was playing. And, Astor House is an amazing band where the drummer is the singer.
Yeah.
And
it's
he's
like Night Ranger.
but and they're freaking just amazing. And as soon as they started playing, he comes running back to me and he goes, "If I was on Metal Shop, I'd be blowing these guys up.
Oh yeah.
These guys are different. They're not what everybody's listening to, and everybody needs to hear them." And they are. They're such a unique band. They have crazy starts and stops, and it's like a band that. I think it would be hard to dance to because it's so interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure after a while you would if you could, but at most part, it's such an interesting music that it's just you're just like enthralled by it because it's so well thought out and so well laid out, and the way it's just put together, it's just a masterpiece.
See,
so yeah,
you've discussed this before, and I'm intrigued.
We gotta, maybe get that on.
Are they this region? Like, so I think I've asked this before too.
I can find out
because I think that if they're, Seattle, we're less.
Oh,
but I still want to hear them. I find that, especially we've been doing this show for a long time. I'm completely insulated in this Tacoma. Like now, there's times like on our vacation time there where I did not immerse myself in Tacoma, and I completely climbed out of Tacoma and listened to some dance music and watched a bunch of movies. That was fun. But other than like a couple of these little things like that, I've mostly just been deep into all this music that we're playing, which isn't bad. There's nothing wrong with that. My realization is that it's just like its own little country here. If we, Jesus Chris.
Smoke up, my brother.
Well, I couldn't.
Oh, well then. Oh, I know I poked it all the way.
Yeah, but then you poked this all the way down into it.
Oh, sorry.
This is like the whole.
We'll break half of it off.
Kona of
Smoke
it.
half of it later.
Am I supposed to smoke this whole thing?
Yeah.
It reminds me of this time where I smoked this bowl of lace weed. That's a story. See, God damn it, Chris.
Sorry, man.
There we go.
Oh yeah, Chris and I just went to breakfast,
You did.
and it was good.
Yeah.
But when I was paying, the
Oh,
lady dropped
God.
my credit card into her desk.
Yeah, well, it's like the cash register's here in this like little pocket, and then there's like and it's about like that much of a shelf.
Yeah.
Well, on all sides there's a wall, except for this one side there's no wall, and it goes into this little thing,
All
probably
the
down
way
like
down.
a
And they
foot
had
and a
some
half.
nasty stuff in there.
Yeah. So they had to use salad tongs to pull out all this stuff first to get to her card and stuff. And I was almost to the point of going, well, I'm just gonna break off this wall right here. You guys will have to fix that later. But yeah, we're gonna get
She
that
finally
card.
got it.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, because I was just gonna go, all right, well, we're not gonna leave without the card, so you're busting this. You're breaking it. And you will remodel later.
Oh yeah. I wouldn't be leaving without the card.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Does ICBM?
Yes.
I would have asked for a refund, but our breakfast was so good.
Yeah, it was good. So yeah.
Because last time we went there, it really wasn't good at all. And so we didn't go for a couple years.
I feel like you went to the Poodle Dog. Where'd you go?
No, it's
Close.
Catton's.
That's such a close guess.
Catton's.
Okay, Catton's downtown
Catton's.
Puyallup.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good now.
Well, it's
No
not
bad Yelp
Catton's anymore. It's something else, but it's still Catton's on the outside, but the menu says something totally different.
Herman's.
I
Herman's.
see. Yeah, I've heard this discussion before. Yeah, Catton's was one of those places I used to frequent a whole lot as a kid.
Yes.
Back in the day, there was Jason's and Catton's downtown
Yeah.
Puyallup, and those two, boy, yeah, spent a lot of time drinking coffee, and riding there.
Train.
Yeah, it's far out, man. Although I always preferred Denny's. It was just so far away from where I was
Yeah.
most of the time. That bowl of laced weed was one time in the 80s when I was still in the Potter's Palace era of the house, but afterwards still in the living over there by Rogers High School.
Yeah.
And Jason and Nathan were living out on the Roy Y in that trailer. So I used to often hitchhike out there. And this one night, it was around 10 or 11, I decided I'm going to go, gotten bored, got nothing to do, I'm going to hitchhike out there, go hang out, smoke some weed. I probably had a little weed. They always had weed. It was just a party. We'd go and party. It's just what we do.
Uh-huh.
So I sometimes I would go down 128th, and sometimes I'd go down 112th. 112th was a better road to hitchhike down, so it was more traffic, and there was a shoulder to walk on, all these good things. So I'm out there. I'm on 112th, walking down, from where we started, 89th or whatever it was, that range, Fruit and Grange area, walking along, hitchhiking, get picked up by a dude. Pulls over, picks me up. And it's just a dude, your average 80s butt rocker. And this was the 80s, yeah. This was like 88, 89. And, excuse me, he's got the cut-off sleeves and the Spicoli kind of hair. And he's all kind of driving close to the wheel, stuff like this. He's like, do you want to smoke a bowl? I was like, yeah, man. Of course I do.
Sure, why not?
He's like, you got a pipe? And I was like, yeah, I got a pipe. Of course I got a pipe. I always had a pipe. I pulled out my pipe, and it was my famous pipe. I was very famous for it this time. It had a bell bowl.
Was that the multi?
It was the bell bowl.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It was like, looked like a Liberty Bell, and it was a giant bowl. It was a giant bowl. It was like probably, you could fit if you really crammed it, you could fit an eighth into it. But it was like bigger, a little bit bigger diameter than a quarter at the top. It flared out at the top. It was a very nice bowl. It was very much coveted by a lot of my friends. They liked it, and they liked to have it all the way loaded. It was a fun thing to load the entire bowl and smoke that thing.
Because you're also famous for the multi-chambered one too. There was like
Like
5 bowls.
multi-tool,
It was just
like you could.
It
Yeah.
was like
Pick it.
multiple bowls.
Oh.
There was like
The
5 bowls or something.
See, I didn't remember being famous for it, and I don't even know if that was even.
I thought it was cool as fuck.
It was a 6-shooter, like it was.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah, so you load one, then you just chink next one, chink next one.
Oh, that's cool. When you say multi-tool, though, I think of the ones that
multi-bowl.
has the little stick. And
Yeah. The prototypes.
Yeah.
Prototypes. Yeah, I got one of those. They just the brass taste. I just kind of never cared for really too much.
Yeah. So this dude like sticks a giant nugget of weed in this bowl, like so it's poking out of the top, like much like that was, but even more so. It's like this fucking nugget of weed sticking out of this bowl, and like, all right, man, we're gonna fucking party. And he was just gonna drive me down to Pacific, which is a good stretch, from 100 wherever I was
where
on
that was. Okay, yeah.
So we smoked this whole bowl all the way to Pacific Avenue, and it's done by the time we got there. And he's like, well, I've got some time, man. Where are you going? I can drive you a little farther. And I was like, well, I'm going all the way to 174th. Basically, I'm going to the Roy Y. Is where I said. And he's like, well, I can drive you to 174th or something, or whatever he said. We'll smoke another bowl on the way. So now we're driving down Pacific, smoking another bowl. We're smoking. He drops me off at that 7-Eleven down there. So I still got a good ways to walk from that 7-Eleven to get to my destination at the Roy Y. And it's late now. It's midnight at least, maybe later. And it's very dark, and I'm walking down the side of the road, and I'm like, well, it's too close. I'm not going to bother hitchhiking because I'm almost there. I can walk this distance. I walk this distance all the time. It's nothing. And I'm walking along, and I'm having thoughts. And so my thoughts start going places that are just crazy and unnatural. And I'm thinking, this is not me. I don't think like this. And I'm thinking of anger and violence and just crazy things. And like, this is not me at all. What the fuck's going on? What's going on? Yeah. And then I look around and I'm like, I'm in the road. I was like, wow, shouldn't be in the road. There's the line, the line's over there and the shoulder's over there, and I should be on that side of the line. And I'm starting to go, what the fuck? It's going, okay, I need to get over there. And as I'm trying to get back over on my side of the road, I'm starting to go farther, just slowly. And I'm walking slow. Everything's getting weird. And I'm in the middle of the road. I'm like in the middle of the lane. With the traffic that would be coming from behind me, and I start to realize things aren't right. I must and I start to equate that I've been laced. The weed's been laced, and I'm whacked out.
And you're freaking out.
and so I know that I have to be on one or the other side of the road, and I'm veering left, so I should go on that side, and because I can also then see the cars coming at me. It's all better, but I have to get there, and it's starting to become a chore. and I'm working towards it, but it's like I'm only going there gradually, naturally. I can't making myself go any faster, and I can't get back over to the other side. It's just not happening. And this is all hard to explain. This is just me working against the forces of whatever's working against me. And the trees are so far above me that they're getting taller and taller and stretching above me like fingers, and they're closing in. And it's like, fuck, this is crazy.
It's almost like a PCP type scenario.
That's exactly what it was like, Chris.
Yeah.
Because that's what it was. That's what I was on. And I see in the distance headlights.
Or a Sherm.
No, these were
Sure.
just PCP.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
So the headlights there, I see them in the distance, piercing diamonds in the darkness, and I'm like, "Fuck, I really got to get over to the other side." And by the grace of God, I made it. I'm safe. I'm on the other side of the line, and so the cars come smearing past me, streaming, towering, bending over me like giant walls. Just fucking wow, man! Wow, there's more. They're coming, and it's crazy, and the trees, and it's like a tunnel, and it's intense, but I'm a giant, and and I'm bending around like I can see my feet because I'm bent the fuck around. I'm like, wow, man, this is, and I'm like, maybe I'll lay in the ditch. The ditch looks comfortable. I could just ride this out in the ditch. And I'm approaching the gas station. There's a gas station up there close to the Royal Y. So I'm like, oh, that's a good landmark to get to. If I see a cop, I'll stop the cop. I'll say, hey, I'm having some problems. Like I've got this all worked out.
Yeah.
But I just persevered. I struggled on, and I finally, like, by the time I got to the gas station, it was closed. There was no one around, nothing, no sign of anything. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm almost to where I need to be anyway. I'm only like 2 blocks away from where I need to be now, so I can make it. And I made it. And I finally fucking got there, and people little knock on the door. Nothing. Did it again. Nathan finally comes out. So, hey, man. I've had a rough one.
I had some issues this
they don't even know what's going on, man. They have no idea, and I come in and sit down, and they're just vegging out on the couch, like whatever, and there's like they offer me a bowl. I was like, no. I'm like, the fuck's wrong with you?
It's like, what?
Yeah,
you don't want pot? Okay, something's wrong.
Yeah, I've been laced, man. I've been dosed. That isn't even the only time that happened. But I made it. I wrote it out. I made it to the sanctuary, and I just calmed down. And after like 4 hours, I was able to smoke a bowl, and get my wits about me.
That happened to me once.
Yeah?
Yeah, kind of the same thing.
Ooh.
I sat in the middle of Louis G's, though, and just stared at people. People just looked at me, and I was like, wow, this is weird. No one's looking at me. I thought I was dying or something later on. And then I had to call one of my friends I hadn't talked to in a really long time because I just didn't know who else to call. I was like, oh, my God, save me.
That wasn't that time that you got that cookie of mine, was it?
No.
Okay,
good. I was with Christopher then. And I puked the whole night afterwards.
Sorry.
Yeah. That wasn't lace now, was it?
No.
I'm like, well,
no.
It was pretty potent.
We would not ever do anything like that. No, not at this age. Well, not at any age, but you know what I mean. We should play some songs.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
That's what we do here. See what we got.
I gotta
off
pee.
our day. Yeah, you can go pee if you want. Right. You can do that.
But I don't think you smile, 'cause I know the time is going.
sum, it's all multiplication. We are standing in a windfall. Already got it all. Already got it all. We'll never get to zero. The barrel has no bottom. We give and then we give more. It's impossible to run out. We'll never get to numbers. This guy's the one I try up. Show me all you've got, there's always enough. It's impossible to run out of love. It's impossible to run out of love. It's impossible to run out of love.
Well, I don't know the words that you might like to hear, the poetic whispers into your ear. I'm not sure just what you might want me to do, or how you would like me to say I love you. But I do love you so, and I want you to know it's you alone. I'm no greater than any man you might meet, any place, any time, down on your street. But you'll never again, any place, any time, find a love that compares or is greater than mine. But I do love you so, and I want you to know it's you alone. Well, I do love you so, and I want you to know it's you alone. And I do love you so, and I want you to know it's you alone. And I do love you so.
Take what we want, and after we take that ruler, and the time we walk the gold, sucker. I'm coming, we coming for you, nigga.
I'm trying to be the most offensive, the most psychotic, the most demented. Make the dead roll over in the grave with every sentence. If I ever set it up on a track, I fucking meant it. I'm ill for real. You can take it or leave it, and if I'm not the best alive, then I'll make them believe it. Big John's an animal, an actual fanatical. The ripping up your job with the claw they call the mandible. Eating human flesh, a G and ounce, we consume the best. Only eat it fresh, still alive, bleeding from the breast. If the corpse is stinky in the tomb you rest, I'm not impressed, I'm ravenous. Wherever the cadaver is, a brand new specimen becomes my stomach's resident. Never eat the brains, that shit'll make you insane. But naked in a human mask, dancing in the rain. The neighbors won't complain, tell the cops I think he's strange. Seen him singing in the backyard, sniffing cocaine. Thomas Edison, you'll be flipping like a fat girl on a veteran. Big John's the medicine, the greatest that there's ever been. Write your best shit, bring it to me, you could never win. Fuck your mainstream, fuck your diamond ring, fuck your whack flows, fuck your corny rhyme scheme. Check what my rhyme bring, nothing but the best. You must confess, if your chick she heard it, she would undress. Like our vision, sing, you'll have to kill me twice. I keep a knife in my pocket, go ahead and roll the dice. Precision so precise, every time I stab a slice. Here's my advice, pack your bags, run for your fucking life. It's cold alone at night, I'll leave you right there, pissing on yourself and sweating, screaming like a nightmare. I'm on a mission, kill you off till there's no competition. Murder more MCs than the deaths that were caused by religion. Like Play-Doh, Big John, I'm snatching your halo. We hit your block like tornado and slice you up like tomato. So many bitches on my dick, it might erupt like volcano. I'm deadly and fatal, smashing your fucking face through the table. Big John bust raps from alleyways to the dust shacks. Hit you with the hammer, there's no way you could touch that. Spit it hot as you get, me, I'ma crush that. I bust back, 5 shots at least. From parking lots to back blocks, John is a beast. Attacking the priest, every time I clap you deceased. I'm strapped with a piece, shattering the bones in your knees. Buck 20 in the Navy act, fuck the police. Hey yo, jock my shit, rock with it, destined to shock your shit. Glass with clips, bout to spit, 7 across your hip, I'm nice with it. Bob Barker, Price is right with it. You on the red eye, what I said, I got the right ticket.
So loud in here. And the headphones on. It's like, wow.
My volume on that might just, the master volume might just be up. I can turn it down just a little bit.
Everything's fine. Yeah. Oh, wow. That's better. It's not as sensitive now. Hello, everybody.
Hello, everybody.
We're back from a set of songs. We just heard Big John, a song called Lucid Dream, off of The Author. And we also heard You Alone by the Fabulous Wailers. And that was fabulous. I really liked that song a lot. I also liked the song before that was called Zero by Shannon Curtis. I don't remember the name of that album. And we heard Hard Times by Seaweed starting us all off from the album Actions and Indications. I always want to call it a different name, but that's, I'm pretty sure, what the name of the album is. Actions and Indications. That's fantastic.
Marvelous.
Mm-hmm.
Great.
We can't hardly throw 4 songs together without them being pretty good.
I know.
Just take just about any 4 songs from Tacoma, play them, and it's just like, there you go. That's what Tacoma sounds like.
Yep.
True.
Can't do the same thing with smells, though.
No.
No.
Tacoma used to be a city known for its smell.
Yep.
But we're trying to change
Tacoma
that.
aroma.
Yeah, we're erasing that image, and we're replacing it with not what Tacoma smells like. It's not the aroma of Tacoma. It's the sound of Tacoma.
Yes.
There you go.
Smooth sounds of Tacoma.
It's not like little wave noises to go with it.
Yeah. It's a good idea.
Sounds good.
Soothing sounds.
Yeah.
Soothing sounds.
Leaves rustling in the wind.
Potter.
Yep.
Whoosh.
Feel the warm summer breeze brushing over you.
Makes me feel nice.
But you gotta have it like all mellow and stuff, and then you have it escalate. You have the wind, and then you hear the rustling of the leaves. You realize that it's a coyote going after a chicken. And
Angry chimes.
yeah, just make you get all angry really quick, like yo.
I probably could find some nice soothing themes. Let's see, if I got any? I might.
That'd be fun. There you go.
There you go.
That's like hectic music.
Yeah, this works.
Watch out! He's coming!
It's good. That's why it's good to have sound clips on hand, just in case.
Perfect.
Yep. That, of course, is the iconic theme from Buck Rogers in the 25th century.
Oh, there you go.
That's not the theme song for our show, though. Although I did cut it out for that possibility. I cut out a bunch of theme songs for the potential just to switch it up from here and there, but I like the Happy Days right now. I'm going with Happy Days.
We're just going to keep it that.
Yeah.
In Buck Rogers, that little robot, what was the robot's name?
The guy with the penis head?
Yeah.
Twiggy?
Twiggy. I thought it was Tweaker for some reason.
No.
I was like, but yeah. Have you seen it?
No.
Oh, yeah. If you saw it, you'd be going.
Yeah, he's got an unfortunately shaped head.
Tweaker? What
Twiggy.
Twiggy. All right.
And he had Dr. Cosmopolis or some shit on his chest. And he'd carry that stupid little disc around. And the disc,
that's right.
That disc would boss everyone around because the disc knew all of the stuff. And Twiggy was his little... Twiggy was basically like... They saw Fantasy Island and they're like, that Hervé Villachez, well, they got something with that guy. The plane. We need something like that. So they made a little robot and named it Twiggy and gave it a penis head. And he just went bitty bitty bit. And then he'd say a joke once in a while, you know.
That's it?
Yeah.
How are you going to even compare it to the plane?
You had to be there. It worked. Actually,
it worked?
yeah.
Okay.
People loved Twiggy. Yeah, it's they had different target demographics, but it still appealed. It was like, yeah, we like that, we like it.
Twiggy.
Twiggy.
Okay,
yeah, that's him.
What the hell kind of show was this?
Buck Rogers.
Buck Rogers. See, Buck Rogers was a space
hell?
pilot who got frozen in space somehow, and then when they found him like floating in space, he'd been frozen for like 500 years. And did you watch much South Park?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Okay, did you see the South Park episode where Cartman wanted to get the game thing, the Nintendo or whatever it was before it came out or some shit?
The GameCube?
Something. And he ended up fucking everything up and trying to contact himself from the future because he got... This is based off Buck Rogers, except for the calling himself in the past. Buck Rogers didn't do that. But everything about the plot of him in the future is based off Buck Rogers. Yeah, they just like exchanged the platypus for a different race. That was actually a really, really fucking good South Park, man, where the platypus evolved into a sentient species and they were at war with the people and they were all trying to get stuff. And so because of him being a displaced person in time, both Buck Rogers and Cartman, they were somehow special because they weren't from that time. I don't know. You'd think that the people would be 500 years evolved and would have, be far beyond that. I want to watch that South Park one though, because I mean, there's big distinct differences obviously in the South Park version. It's just a modest, mild adaptation, loose adaptation of the Buck Rogers show.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But that's so you do know the theme then. That's all I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
You had some big shows this weekend?
This weekend.
Last weekend.
Last weekend. Whew.
That's your birthday show.
Yeah, it was my birthday weekend. I had I had a open mic on Thursday, which I almost totally forgot because
That's great.
Because it's the open mic is on the first Thursday of the month. Well, the first Thursday was the 4th.
Uh-huh.
So we didn't have it on the 4th because nobody would show up to that.
Nope.
So we had it on the second one, which I was literally in the bathtub, ready to push play on Netflix to watch a movie and soak my back.
Mm-hmm.
When I looked at my phone and the thing popped up to remind me of it. And I was just like, oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That, and it wasn't clicking in my head yet. It was slowly clicking and stuff. I was just like, oh yeah. Oh wait. Is that today? Oh shit, that's in 2 hours. Oh shit. So I had to get out of the tub, left everything in the tub, just fucking left and shit. And then Friday I had a show which was mostly mostly acoustic, which was PD Normal was one of them.
The Renfield and Kira Michelle?
No.
Different show?
Kira Michelle did, though. Kira Michelle played, and Glass Souls and Leafy Green. And then that was Friday. And then Saturday morning, I had a video shoot. So I had to go down there, and there was a band that wanted to shoot a video. So I had to do all this crap for them. And then I had to go home and then come back for my show later that night, which was PD Normal as electric. Because the night before he was acoustic.
Mm-hmm.
And then he was electric. And then after PD Normal was the Whole Bolivian Army.
Oh, yeah.
And then after that was The Face of Loki.
Badass.
And then after that was Casualty of God.
Yeah, also badass.
My mom was there the entire time. So my mom was rocking out. Yep.
They're like, where were you? I was like, I was rocking out, man.
That's right.
So yeah, it was kind of cool. And then yesterday, just chilled. Hung out yesterday, and then today doing this.
We're going to make tacos tonight.
Street tacos.
Yep. I'm going to fry the tortillas.
Sweet.
Mm-hmm. We need to get sour cream and lettuce while we're discussing this.
Make a grocery list on the way home.
Yeah. Fun silences.
Mm-hmm.
Does that mean it's song time?
Nope.
No, we're way too early for that.
Oh, I
was just looking. I was looking at my looking at
Corey.
a list of people that I apparently want to come and see. And we got a bunch of people. Dylan Bennett.
I was trying
Corey
to cue
Chaos.
up crickets during the silence. That's how long it took.
Joseph Pepe. Sky Warden. So yeah, there's a bunch of people that want to come.
There you go.
There you go.
This is why we need a sound man. We need you. I mean, you are a sound man, but we need a tech.
Well, what I could do is I could just bring in a computer, and what I'll do is I'll have a bunch of sound effects added to it and stuff. And
well, I've got that right here. It's right
yeah,
there.
but you got to play all your music and stuff. This will be it'll be set up just for that.
But that's the whole point, is that someone still has to do it, and that's sometimes how long it takes. Someone else. Well,
I could do the sound effects.
You could.
Or we could just put the computer in between us, or you could do some other places. You get a table in the center and put a laptop there, a laptop here, and spill cloths over the front of it so we don't spill the bogs on them or anything like that.
This is actually a thing that could happen. We could get a table. We could put a table in here. Could bring in another chair and get a table.
That'd be cool.
Mm-hmm. There could be 4 people if we wanted. We don't have to be restricted by these limitations.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds good.
I mean, don't go wild.
Well, yeah, I hear you there. I've also wanted to somehow figure out a way to do a on the road podcast. So we're actually driving around.
It's easy.
Yeah.
You got one of those cigarette lighter converter things, right?
For power, yeah.
Yeah. So that's all you need. That's all you need.
That'd be fun.
With that one thing, you put that into your lighter, and then you put a power strip out of that, and then you plug this and this into that if you needed.
Well,
Or
that I could just run batteries on.
you could, and this I could put all the music that we need onto a phone, like I did the time at the park, including sound effects and everything.
Or, I mean, how long of a charge does that last anyway?
Oh, this lasts hours.
Yeah, so I mean, you wouldn't even have, you just have to make sure it was charged. Yeah, you just have to make sure it was charged, and that was it.
Yeah.
So theoretically, nothing would really need power per se, because battery, everything's battery powered. I mean, mounts, I'd have to figure out a mount for my camera, like a suction cup mount, like some up in the...
There's things.
And then we'd have to have like a destination planned out and stuff. So yeah, that's something that could be cool. I like that idea.
Yeah. If we were just going in terms of like time, we could probably just, take a drive, round trip drive somewhere, like, and stall if we need to by parking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We should just do like a camping one too.
Well, yeah.
Oh, that's that's obvious. Yeah.
It should happen. Yep.
Yep. Doing around a campfire.
That'd be
That'd
fun.
be kind of neat.
Tell scary stories at night.
Oh.
Or we can all listen to Coast to Coast.
Well, another one. We'll do one robbing a bank. That'll be really cool.
That's
It'd be
not
action
happening.
packed.
I don't know what you're talking about.
But it'd be action packed, man. We'd have to get those mounts that like are in front of you, so when you're running, they're all bouncing, and you're all
No.
Oh man,
Sorry.
oh, that's right. Sounded fun to me.
Okay, have fun in jail by yourself.
There's of course this allure of the perfect heist or any kind of thing like that, from the Pink Panther to like that movie with the old people who robbed the bank.
Oh, yeah.
And this is something that I did have ideas of when I was younger. I was like, fuck, if I ever get old, I would just go rob a bank, whatever. What are they gonna do? They're gonna lock me up. Oh, fine, they're gonna take care of me. That's great. But yeah, realistically, no. Like,
Yeah.
like whether it's the movies or whether it's real life, it just how often does it work statistically? How often does a bank get robbed and the person doesn't get
rarely.
found? Yeah, very rarely. There are certain crimes that people get away with more frequently, but I think actually most of those are more white collar crimes, right?
Yeah, like checks and things
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, now that I'm older, I'm like, yeah, I probably wouldn't do that. Because jail still isn't being able to like wake up and go see a beach.
No.
And when I'm 75, I want to do that.
Yeah.
Because times are getting short. And I don't want my last days to be in a jail.
Yeah. And even at its worst, you could probably just at least, if you were just completely down on your luck at that age, you could still go to the beach and die there rather than in jail.
Yeah,
it's
that's
like,
true.
this is much better, sun, warmth,
Well, we saw like in Hawaii, there's just a lot of homeless people. And I'm like, man, if I was homeless, I don't think I would mind being homeless right here.
Yeah, it might be why they go there.
Well,
Because-
they let their homeless sleep on the beach.
Yeah.
And they let them use the bathrooms until a certain time. And they don't they're not rude to them.
And then they actually give them incentives to help clean up the place. So because you see the homeless cleaning up like plastic bottles, they'll go to the garbage cans, get the plastic bottles, take the lids off, and they'll throw the lids off, but they'll keep the plastic part probably because they're recycling it or something. So they're doing that everywhere. So you see them all over the place doing that. So I mean, the beaches look amazing all the time and stuff, and
That's great.
yeah, it's
Well,
cool.
when you treat people nicely, they'll,
Oh, yeah.
that kind of happens sometimes.
Well,
But if you
I mean,
treat
they're
them like
homeless,
they're
they-
garbage,
they,
they're going
yeah,
to treat you like you're
exactly.
garbage.
Yeah, they're homeless. They're not like rabid animals.
Well, and you'd be surprised how many homeless people are just normal people.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah, exactly.
and there's a large number of like people on drugs, but they often usually congregate together. The people like, and you can start to determine these different things. It's I mean, just take a walk down by the Mission, which I do periodically when I'm going to Safeway, and you'll see different people doing different things, different activities, and there's the fence people, as I call them, and the fence people who hang out down just past the Mission along the fence. They'll just do just about anything. You know, so I wouldn't necessarily trust them so much. They might be more along the lines of people who are whacked out on drugs and thieving, and I'm not trying to stereotype anyone, but it's like you can just kind of see that activity is more prevalent down there, whereas there's other people who are trying to get their lives together a little farther down at the Mission itself proper. People who are going there for a meal, going there to get cleaned up, going there to try and get stuff rolling, because it's a good resource for that. It's not the best resource for that. It's actually not the best at all. It just is what it is. Have we talked enough, Chris? Can we go back to songs yet? I don't know.
I don't know. What do you think?
I'm
That's
asking.
fine.
It's fine with her.
We could probably play a couple songs. I don't see why not.
Well, I'm not keeping track.
We're discussing like major things, so it's cool. It'll work.
Yeah. We can do whatever.
Yeah. I like it. Let's play more music.
I'm so confused.
I like the awkwardness of our show.
Yeah, it's getting pretty awkward.
Today is kind of weird, but that's all right.
Yep.
We can blame Cody because Cody Foster came in and threw everything off.
That was a definite different start to the show.
All right. We'll start it off with Infinite Flux.
living behind that boy's eyes was purely and simply evil.
All Hallows Eve and I'm broken down in Haddonfield. Just want a motel room, a six-pack and a good meal. In the beginning, everything seemed to be okay. Body started dropping and New Hometown went insane. Come on, let's die. Whoa. Come on, let's die. Whoa. 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 Come on, let's die. In my motel room, I know now that death is near. Make my amends, we got above and swill my last
Well, that was the Sweet Sounds of Psychic Sister by Thunders of Wrath, off of their album Thunders of Wrath. And the next time that we play them, we'll play the song Thunders of Wrath. And that will complete the epic trilogy.
Yes.
Before that, we heard Kirsten Wenlock, My Projector. We heard Come On, Let's Die by Psycho 78. Started it all off with Guillotine by Infinite Flux. There you go.
There it is.
That
was that.
Nope. That was that.
All right.
We're in segment 3.
Yeah.
All right.
Segment 3.
Yeah. This is good to keep track of.
Yeah.
Because I got all messed up there in the between time.
You're good though.
That
Feeling
pot stick.
good.
Yep.
They made a funny joke that I don't even think that they can recreate the magic that you guys missed.
Yeah.
That was a magical moment.
Yeah, I was saying last week too. There's some stuff in between songs that, or during the songs, that it's good fun zaniness, all lost for the audience forever. Yep, because all that stuff is hit the cutting room floor. Eventually, though, we'll be live and we will do things that are live that you'll see. Because the songs probably won't play when we're doing a live show. That's what we were talking about, amongst other things, during that set. My brain's scrambled now, Chris. Fuck!
It's this Mars pen.
Yeah.
Between that and this ICBM.
That stuff is what killed me yesterday.
No, I think that thing was the icing on the
On the cake.
Yeah.
Yeah. 'Cause, yeah.
We could always talk about weed, too.
There's all kinds of things we can talk about.
Smoke about it. We can smoke about it. See? We do smoke about it.
Yeah, smoke about it.
We do smoke enough to talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we should find a sponsor.
That'd be cool.
That would be fun.
There's this place that we used to go to, Lucid. Well, delete that. We don't want to sponsor people yet.
Nope.
No.
So yeah, but there are some places that I could go up to and say, "Hey, what's that?"
I could brew beer in here one day.
There
Let's
you
get those
go.
beer kits.
Do a little beer kit.
Explain the process.
That'd be funny.
That would be funny.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, see, I already lost my train of thought in the midst of saying it. So you're going to have to take over the show from now on.
I think
I'm just going to sit here.
Yeah.
I don't know what to talk about.
Yeah, we're just having one of those days where it's just like, it's Monday. You got to realize it's Monday. Sometimes Mondays are good Mondays. Sometimes Mondays are Mondays.
This is just a bad Monday.
No,
Is it a bad Monday?
it's not bad Monday.
I mean, okay,
not a
it's
bad
an odd Monday.
It's just, we power marched right into it and, power marched a little bit over the edge. So we kind of regroup and,
Yeah, it's a lot to do before lunch. A lot to go on before lunchtime.
Yeah, I mean, there's just so much going on. I mean, I just had my birthday and everything going on, and
Life stuff.
got some ideas thrown around about guests and doing some outdoor stuff. Then tolerating the weather up here for some reason. It's just like totally bipolar.
I know, I woke up this morning. I was like, "What the hell?
Yeah,
It's all rain."
I woke, yeah.
rain.
Well, I had all my windows open, and that rain fortunately woke me up, and I had to jump up and close the windows quickly. That's interesting.
and now I can see whether or not my lens is scratched or not. Or
Yeah. I don't know how bad that looked on the finished video. I guess we could investigate it.
see that. Investigate real quick.
Dun, dun, dun. We can look back on it.
Yep.
Well, yeah. Well, he already posted it, so
Oh, the one that you already posted.
Yeah, last week's.
because I was all on that one. I was kind of curious about the sound too, because how I had it mounted on that, I wasn't sure how it would sound.
Well, we don't know because we don't use that sound.
Oh, that's right.
But it was present. That sound was present.
Okay.
Why is it not just there? What the heck's going on? There we go. Yeah, it was good audio. I'll put some crickets in this part now.
That sounds like a scary knife scene.
See, so yeah.
Chill out.
And you're doing that. You're doing that thing you yell at her.
Yeah,
about.
exactly. You're yelling in the microphone.
So I guess it's not very visible, but it's like right here, across here, especially, and then up in here.
Oh, I can see it up top there.
All right, yeah. Might have to get some polishing compound or something to check it out.
Actually, that might be a shadow back there.
Yeah.
There's a ghost behind me.
A shadow. Not a shadow person.
Ghost, paranormal. I'd be a good sponsor person.
Paranormal.
Just yell their name over and over and over. Whatever I was sponsoring, like if it was glasses. Glasses.
This show is brought to you by chocolate and laundry detergent.
Chocolate laundry detergent and slushies.
You want a bong hit or something?
You can't say no on the show. What the heck?
Well, I'm not
kind
saying
of
good.
hesitation was that?
Well,
You could. You do anything.
Peer
you want.
pressure.
I think that I'm probably pretty good.
I mean, I'm fine.
So far. I'm fine so far. That might be a reason why I'm having such a hard time figuring out what I'm going to talk about.
Well, that is you might it's just like we were talking. You've been averted. You've got aversion. You're yeah. No, actually, what I was talking about is
You're gonna start singing?
wrist locks.
You can
That's what I
start
was talking
singing.
about. No, I'm not gonna sing.
Karaoke?
Karaoke.
I've only done the karaoke twice, I think, that I can remember. And I think both times were at the Thunderbird, and both times were the same
Thunderbird.
song.
What song?
The breakup song by Greg Kinn.
No. Okay.
Oh, what? Really? That's my favorite.
Oh, yeah, it's a great song. It's
I listen
really,
to that
really
a
good
lot.
song. It's so good. His other songs are good too. He's got some other like Jeopardy. Jeopardy's really good, and he's got a couple others. But that
Jeopardy,
song, man,
baby. Yeah.
yeah, man, it's on fire.
But yeah, I've been listening to a lot of him lately, so that's funny.
Yep, I got to cover that song briefly in a later incarnation of Papa Wheelie that we did for a couple of years. That was just kind of low key. Nothing really came of that, but we did get to play that song. That was fun. I got much more into covers later on, as I got older, especially, and the whole idea of either doing a complete cover band, but doing just kind of specific quirky covers, or the local music cover band. Either of those would be a good idea. Because there was a time, actually, where it was almost happening, where Bob and I forget who else, and Tim Silvers and I were trying to get something going, and we were in here trying to learn some covers, and we started learning, like...
Wait. Tim Silvers learning a cover.
Uh-huh.
Really?
Uh-huh.
He swore he would never do that.
He used to be a different man.
Oh my God.
A lot different. Still love you, Tim.
No, like, I understand him not wanting to. I've had that same kind of thing. Like, I've had that and fought with it all the time. I mean, every cover that I've ever did, I had to initially just fight with. Even if I wanted to do it, there was something to overcome in doing it, and I struggled with some things about them. But, yeah, at that point, we were trying to do one, and we were learning a Kelly Clarkson tune. What was her first hit?
Oh, the one with slashing tires and
No.
baseball
No,
bat.
that's
windshield?
Carrie Underwood.
Oh.
Kelly Clarkson, I know what you're talking about, but I just can't figure out.
I don't think it's Stronger, but one before Stronger. The first hit, her first hit when she just came out firing. You know the song, Chris.
Oh, I
It's
probably
your favorite fucking song.
It's not my favorite song.
Do you like a Kelly Clarkson song?
No, my favorite song
A
is
Moment
Somewhere
Like
Over
This?
the Rainbow. My favorite song is Somewhere Over the Rainbow by that guy in Hawaii.
Since You've Been Gone?
Since You've Been Gone.
Since You've Been Gone.
That song fucking
That one?
rules.
Because of You was a very sad one, but that was pretty good too.
Something about like an artist's first hit that just defines them so well, like and it's hard to also live up to. But you can just go back to so many of them, like "Let's Dance" or "Just Dance," did Lady Gaga. You know, the Rihanna's first song, whatever that was, that had the soft
Umbrella.
cell. No, the one with soft cell.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
That song rules too. Their first songs, I'm pretty sure these are like their first big hits.
It does define them pretty good. Carrie Underwood just sounds the same now. She just keeps going with the same flow of life in a nice way possible. She's a great artist. Like, she sounds good.
I know I've heard some of her stuff. I can't recall any of it. I wouldn't know it if I heard it, but I've not ever it's not ever been something I was objectionable about. I wasn't like, can't hear that. So whatever it was perfectly listenable. But I feel that way about a lot of Taylor Swift too. And
I can't stand her for some reason.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
Okay.
Well, yeah.
I liked when she was country.
Yeah.
I thought that fit her very well, and with her voice style, I thought she could have went a really long and far way with that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind that she did some poppy stuff, but I feel like now everything is just the same. It's about the same topic, and it's just as repetitive and annoying. And she's singing teenage stuff at an older age at this point.
Yeah.
And I just don't see it.
Yeah.
Just my opinion, though.
No, you're not wrong. She could evolve, and she's maybe, I don't know. I admire a lot of what she does and how she does her business. There are a couple songs of hers that I do really like, but then I try to go and find other stuff, and I'm just like, just falls way flat.
Yeah.
Just like,
Does she write all of her own stuff?
I
or
think
does
she.
have
I think
writers?
she's got a lot of control.
It's a mixture.
And, yeah.
They also share songs. Like a Florida Georgia Line has done a couple of her songs, and she's done a couple of their songs. So kind of a
Interesting.
mixture of all of that. Yeah.
I know she's really strategic about a lot of the way that she releases stuff and doesn't release stuff. She's not into a lot of the streaming things and doesn't release,
No.
at least as far as I know, for a period of time, wasn't releasing her stuff, at least initially on streaming services. Part of the reasons why her albums were very successful was because of limiting how they're exposed, which I thought was pretty clever. Because album sales, it's hard to sell physical copies or any copies, any units of an album anymore. So I'm interested in any ways that people manage to do it, actually.
Pretty much they just get money off their concerts and stuff.
This is honest.
Merchandise.
Well, there's so much that gets taken out of records anyway that it's always been like that. That's why people tour into their old age, because that's where their money is. Like,
Yeah.
and why some artists will even just stop making records entirely. Like Billy Joel, I don't know when the last time he made a record is. He's playing his old stuff.
Yeah.
You know, and that's fine for a lot of people because they can't ride that career out forever and ever, you know, or do whatever. You know, like Queen just sold out the Dome.
Yep.
Huge raging show the other day. It's not
And that's
even
what,
Freddie
only
Mercury.
1 or 2 original members?
Yeah,
Or-
2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone likes Adam Lambert, though.
I guess so.
Right,
Like,
what?
hey,
Yeah.
you know, they got to.
Yeah,
They've got
well,
to.
I actually had two photographer friends that went there, and I talked to one of them, Bill Bungard, and he said that It was an amazing show. He said that he wasn't trying to be Freddie Mercury.
He's not.
He
from
was
what I've
being
heard.
himself.
Yeah.
he was honoring Freddie Mercury.
Uh-huh.
And he said that it was just fucking badass. And I was just like, oh, yeah, I wish I could have seen it or some of it. But he said he only had a 3-minute slot because photographers only get like 3 minutes. You're up there 3 minutes during this song from here to here, and then you're out.
Gotcha.
And that's it. So they're all, and then that's it. And they'll take like 300-400 shots
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Oh,
in
yeah.
that 3 minutes. I mean, and then they just filter through them and stuff.
I probably wouldn't have seen him. Like I'm weird about stuff like that though, kind of. And I have finally now succumbed to kind of wanting to see Journey
Oh, I really want to see Journey.
because I went a long time going, I'm not going to see Journey. It's not fucking Journey. You know, where the fuck's Steve Perry? Like, you got to have Steve Perry, you know, but he sounds pretty good, pretty close.
Yeah.
And I think I want to see it.
Yeah, I got over that so quick. Have you seen the documentary?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah,
I did watch that a few years ago.
I loved it.
And
Yep.
I also with Adam Lambert, I really could not stand
Yeah.
him. And I still don't like his music or anything, but I think it's cool that he does do what he's doing really well with Queen, and I think that it's a good thing.
He has to be doing well to be able to pull that off. To be able to pull off selling out shows because before Journey got that guy that they've got now, Journey wasn't that big. They struggled for a long time with their previous singer, who was also named Steve, the guy who followed Steve Perry.
Yeah.
They didn't do that well. Like it wasn't as good, and that right there just tells you that having a real band member there that can carry his own weight and go pound for pound with the guys in the band, it really goes a long way.
Makes a
Like,
difference,
you know,
yeah.
as critical as I might have been throughout life, Sammy Hagar was in Van Halen longer than David Lee Roth was. And
Yeah.
they were by far more successful with Sammy Hagar than they were with David Lee Roth.
Yep.
Like, they sold more records. Now, they did have a big, like, foundation with Dave to build off of. And they were on a huge peak. But, man, and Sammy was no Dave. He wasn't. And he didn't try to be.
No.
He sounded kind of like him though. There's a couple of songs where
Well,
I had to
they
question.
have a similarity in frequencies in their
Yeah.
voices.
I had to question who it was sometimes, and that's a good thing, kind of.
Oh,
when
yeah.
you like a band that much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't
Well,
change
well,
the style of the band.
Yeah, well, it's like a lot of bands that, at least smart bands that change their singers. They'll if they don't get a singer that sounds the same, they'll get a singer with the same frequency because they're all playing at a certain key.
Yeah.
So they need that singer to be singing in key with the band. So you got to have a singer that actually sounds that can do that, or else you got to change the key of all your songs or write new stuff or whatever and stuff.
You're completely right.
Because I've seen bands try to do that, bring in a totally different singer, and it's just like fucking going from badassness to fucking train wreck fucking instantly when they're trying to play the same key, but the singer's not singing in the same key. It's a totally different key and stuff. It just sounds fucking off the whole time because it sounds familiar, so familiar because you're hearing all the instrumentation is all familiar, and then you got this vocal over the top, and it's like going, it's like I'm halfway awake and kind of not really sure what's going on and stuff, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah. But then there's the times that a different key is what makes it work.
Sometimes
You know?
you're not wrong about that,
Yeah.
too. Yeah, but that's, you know.
That's few and far between.
Yeah.
But sometimes that's what it is. And it may not just be the entire time. It may just be in moments that make it work.
Yeah.
So yeah, music's a funny, trippy thing. That's, you know, it's like a whirlwind. You know, you never know what's going to work and what's not going to work, and you know, until it's done, which is cool. That's why I love this show, especially because I'm hearing so much different stuff that I've never even thought of or heard of, and realize that it comes from here and stuff, and it's just cool.
I agree. I've even been like fairly well immersed in so many things, and like I'm completely surprised at how much still exists that I've not heard or forgot about, or that slipped under the cracks, through the cracks, under the rug, around the corner. We should play some of that stuff, so we can finish our show.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Why don't we start off with our good friends, the Gold Sweats, with Eau de Toilette.
Okay.
Eau
Sounds
toilette. So delectable.
Ew, babe.
Gross.
So disgusting.
I don't think that's right.
long as you try, you can do it. Be in the light, what a feeling, shining bright. And we mean it, glory to the Most High. He's exceeding, let your light shine on me. Father, let your light shine.
I see you, Miss Kate. Let's get it. Hey, roof gone with the sun turned up. Soaking up the spirit of the Father is a must. So I keep seeking to be a brighter light. All over the ways of Christ, man, it feels kinda nice. One time for my sisters in the truth, showing beauty of the spirit, not the flesh. I salute. Giving props to my ox, hold it down. Know it's tough out there, gotta stay heaven bound.
We out here trying to do right all day and even the night. Come together, it's about that time. Never knew my people could shine this bright.
The example is simple. Show love to each other, gotta treat them as your equal. Doesn't matter what you've been through, only matters where you're going, cause this life ain't a sequel.
You can do it, be in the light, what a feeling, shining bright. And we mean it, glory to the Most High. He's exceeding, let your light shine on me. Father, let your light
Hey, Amina, what's good, sis? Oh, I got you. It's Young V.O. You did. Shine like the stars in the sky with the moonlight. Got Christ inside, he the true light. Gave me new life, never chance, I'ma do right. Shine for the blind in the dark, give them new sight. Gotta lead the youth right, so they can move right. Teach the kids, give them new minds, that's a true fight. They the future right now, it ain't looking too bright. I do this here for the ones going through plight. Speak life, never deaf in this word. Preach the good news to the souls never heard. Spirit give me utterance to flow with the verse. Bravo, spit truth plus the flow is absurd. Word, all praises to the highest. The glory ain't mine, no, it's all for the Messiah. I am just a vessel for his light. I pray the Father keep on using me to put this message on the mic. Yeah.
what a feeling, shining bright. And we need it, glory to the Most High. He's exceeding, let your light shine on me. Father, let your light shine on me. Long as you try, you can do it. Be in the light, what a feeling, shining bright. And we need it, glory to the Most High. He's exceeding, let your light shine on me. Father, let your light shine on me.
He had a wish for you.
sun, seen the loss. We've been over this before. The party bus came and went. They've already shut the door. This ride's no fun. I can't look, I can't run. You bang your head against the wall. Get off the bus and face the ball. I was supposed to know where I am, but I don't. This ride's no fun. I can't look, I can't run. You bang your head against the wall. Get off the bus, face the ball. Face the ball. I was supposed to know where I am, but I don't. But I don't. This ride's no fun. I can't look, I can't run. I can't run. You bang your head against the wall. Get off the bus and face the ball. Face the ball.
But no, if he does a live song, I want him to do Help. Because it was so cool the way he did it.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I hadn't even thought of that. We should come back from these songs and say, because some of that conversation will probably not be in our show. We don't need to include that necessarily.
No.
We just heard Not from Brooklyn, Party Bus by Not from Brooklyn.
No Sleep Till.
No Sleep Till Not from Brooklyn. Before that, we heard The Curse of Science.
Science.
Curse.
By City of Spectres.
City of
We heard Bright Light by Mina Yakar.
Bright light.
And started it all off with Eau de Toilette by The Gold Sweats.
the toilet.
Yep.
The toilet.
Uh-huh.
Would you like some poopery?
Yeah, la toilet. Poopery.
Poopery. Yay. Our toilet.
We are having way too much fun today. Or maybe we're having just enough fun.
My eyes are watered.
That is what
I'm just always happy when we get to like segment 4 of the show, and it's like I realize, fuck, another show. We've done another show. Filled up the space with talking. Good job, guys.
We made it again.
We made it.
I don't know how the fuck we do it every time, but
Sometimes, I am not going to lie, we just smoke so much weed that midway through I'm just like, I'm like zoning out on what you're talking. I'm like,
to me today.
I can tell by your face today. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, come on, someone talk about something. Anyone
So
talk about
it's
anything.
just sometimes during the show, it'll look like literally me or Chris or you are just staring at one thing for fucking ever. And it was just because we're zoning out.
Sometimes when I'm telling these stories, so I kind of sometimes catch things like that, but I don't let it, I don't call attention to it or derail me because, okay, I realize that part of the show sometimes requires someone to tell a story.
Tell a story.
If you're really interested, you can go back and listen to it.
We're not telling more stories.
Yeah. Just filling in space. I can tell another story about laced weed.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, book in the show with it. I was down in Oakland, outside the Oakland Coliseum. It was actually before that. I was going to see the Grateful Dead in 1991. It was just a thing that was happening because I was in the area. The Grateful Dead were about to do their 2 or 3 shows, opening their tour on their Chinese New Year down in Berkeley or Oakland. Well, they're at the Oakland Coliseum. They were calling it a Berkeley home show, but it was, just across the way there. So I was with all these guys, and they wanted to go, and one of the guys in particular was saying, "You got to go check out the parking lot, man. You have a great time. It's a party. It's a party. The parking lot is a party like you can't believe." And other friends of mine throughout the years have told me the same thing. Our old friend Carl, he had always said, "Yeah, this is a place you would love to check out. You, me, us, we would love to check out that kind of scene." And the Grateful Dead parking lot was a legendary party scene. So I was like, sure, I'm going to go. And so preceding this, we went into Oakland and tried to go, and it was early in the day, and the gates weren't open to the Coliseum parking lots yet. It's like, okay. So we went and we pulled into this AMPM, and we parked in the back of the AMPM, and we went in the store to get something. And when I came out of the store, the entire parking lot was filled with hippies, parks, everything. The whole park, the parking lot of the AMPM was overrun. It was that quick. That quick.
Wow.
It was like, wow, because all these other people.
A caravan that came all at once.
It was all kinds of different people because they were all coming because they were used to being able to roll into a parking lot and start setting up at around that time or earlier, whatever time it was, and they were being turned away because they couldn't get in. So there was the pre-parking lot before the parking lot, and it was in this AMPM, and it was a party in this AMPM. All of a sudden, I was like, wow, this is great.
You get hot dogs, beer, gas.
There's a bathroom.
There's a bathroom.
Yeah, although, at a certain point that got
cigarettes.
shut down. Yeah, everything. It was all cool. Everything was good. We were getting our last supplies before going into the parking lot, and everything was golden. And so I'm like, well, I'm not smoking any of my weed today. I'm putting my weed well away, and I'm smoking everyone else's weed in the world. Because look it's a party. And so
it's funny.
I went out to the back of the car and sat on the bumper of the car, looking around, watching shit go down. And I see over here on my left some dude selling a joint to another dude. It was like an Indian or a Mexican. It was a brown-skinned man. I don't know, not trying to be stereotypical or racial profile of the man, but he was selling the joint to the hippie, the white guy. And so then they spark the joint up, and they start smoking it. And I sidle up, and I was like, hey, can I get a hit off this joint? And the guy who sold it said, yeah, man, sure. Just a little Mexican brown weed. It's like, okay, cool. And so goes to one guy, to the other guy, to me. And I was like, and as I'm about to take a hit off of it, I'm, letting it smolder just a bit, getting it all kosher. Other people start getting into the circle. I was like, oh, this is going to be probably my only hit of this joint. It's like, take a big fucking hit, and then I pass it along. And I could hold my hits for a long time, and I was even really famous for it at this point. So I was just holding this fucking thing in, holding it in, like kind of waiting to see if the joint would get passed around, and it eventually did. And it was like, oh, and it was just a little tiny roach at this point, like, and blow my hit out and dudes are all impressed about it. Yeah, cool. And take my other hit. And
magic.
Yeah, get a nice hit off this second one too. Like, I'm surprised at the hit that I get. And as I'm passing it away, I'm tasting my lips. I was like, that's not right. It's like, that doesn't taste right. It's like, oh man, that's not good at all. It just didn't. It just
so
you
probably knew
had a chemical taste. Like, I was like,
serum or something.
Yeah, I was like, this is not normal, and I just didn't notice it the first time. I hadn't blown it out right away the first time.
Yeah, you held it.
So yeah, and no sooner than the joint was done than the crowd dispersed, and I start feeling it just hardcore, just like. I was like, oh fuck, I know what's happening here, man. And so I just went and sat into the driver's seat and gripped the steering wheel, and like I rode it out, man. I literally just rode it out. I was holding that, white knuckling that steering wheel. It's going whew. And one of my buddies, Dan, comes up and he's like, hey man, are you okay? He was just first talking to me, and I was like, yeah. He's like, are you all right? I was like, no, I'm not all right. He's like, you need anything? I was like, no, I know what I'm doing. It's all cool. Everything's fine. And same thing with the other dude that I was with. Comes up, runs me through the thing, and I was like, smoke some laced shit, man. It's okay. And it was all the same kind of stuff, but it was all much more manageable because I could be in that place, just look at the hedge that was we were parked in front of, and just and everything's fine. Everything's
something to focus
on. Yeah. It was warm, but that was really all that I had to do, and I just had to overcome the psychological turmoil of the thing and get through it. And after a couple hours, I started to be able to loosen up and relax, because it did. It was easily a couple hours that we were in that parking lot, and finally they were like starting to get ready to go. So the other guys piled into the car, and by that time I was starting to feel okay, and I could eat a little something and move on with the day. And by the time we got into the parking lot, then I was ready to party again.
Yeah, you're like, woo!
I started to smoke and eat brownies, and then my buddy later comes up and he's like, come here. And so he introduced me to this dude. He's like, this is so-and-so. We just met. Open your mouth. I was like, oh, why? It's like, open your mouth. Just open your mouth. And I was like, okay. And the dude comes up with this dropper and it's like, drop. It's like, oh, fuck.
As you're telling these stories, I just keep imagining a wizard as the hippie for some reason. I must be high. It's like the magical weed hippie.
There was a lot of magical things on these adventures that I was on. This particular day included.
Just sounds like a real wild event.
Electric Mayhem Muppet Bus was there. I got to go and check that out. That was neat. Other stuff. This other guy that I was with, he was like walking around like with his finger up, because this is what some hippies do in those days, is they would walk around saying, I need a miracle. They'd have their finger up. And it was like some form of acceptable begging, which people would just say, oh yeah, here. Because the story goes that someone did this once at a Dead show. It's like, I need a miracle, just one miracle. And someone gave them a ticket, because they needed a ticket to get into the show. And this started this trend of people begging for things at Dead shows. But then they'd get things because people say, here, I have this thing. Mm-hmm. So this buddy I was with.
It's raining really hard.
Right. That's great. This buddy I was with kept doing this and kept collecting change and drugs and everything as we went along. And it was a party. And at a certain point, some dude comes along selling a ticket. And this dude says that he's got a ticket and he'll sell it for X amount of dollars. And my buddy says, oh. And he jumps up and he tries to buy the ticket. And he talks the dude down to a certain dollar amount. And the dude agrees to it. And so my buddy starts pulling out all this change and different stuff. And the guy says, but he eventually sells it to him for so many dollars. And then my buddy turns to me and he says, here. I was like, oh, I don't want that. He's like, no, I want you to go. I was like, I don't want to go to the show. He says, dude, that's what I've been doing all day, is I've been trying to get this stuff so that you could go to the show, because I just really want you to be able to see the band. I want you to go and check this out, man. I just want you to be able to have that experience that you can walk away from. And I know that I know, but just go and check it out. Just do it. It's like, oh, all right. So I
And
take
he
the ticket.
tried really hard,
Yeah,
so.
he did. He really did. I mean, there's more to it, but he did. So he tried, and he gave me this ticket. And I'm like, okay, all right. And so the dude that he sold it to was like waiting. He was like, "You gonna go in with me?" Because he thought the other dude was getting it, and he wanted someone to walk in with him or something. I don't know. And meanwhile, I'm starting to peak. Like, I'm fucking already just high as fuck, still strung out from the first PCP that I smoked earlier in the day,
Yeah.
and I'm starting to peak on acid. And had ate a couple of weed brownies and smoked tons of bowls. I was just fucking.
You were just ready to party.
Oh yeah. So starting to walk in, and this dude he's got like a What's Happening hat on with a kinky afro. He kind of looks like Jimi Hendrix, but a little taller and lankier. He's got a vest on and a purple silk shirt with the collars sticking out and these nice bell bottoms that are kind of, I don't remember what color the bell bottoms are, but like he is slick and he's fucking stereotype and he's jiving and he's shucking and talking and he's like, so you're going to walk in with me, right? You're going to walk in with me? And I'm like, yeah, I guess, we're going
Sure, why
in.
not?
We're both going in.
We can walk in together,
and
man.
he's like, "You gonna buy me a drink when we get in?" I was like, "I ain't got no money, dude. Dude, this guy bought me the ticket. Like, I don't." He's like, "Yeah, it's cool. I'll buy you a drink, man. It's cool. I haven't seen the Dreadful Grapes in like 20 years." And
Dreadful Grapes?
and I'm like, Dreadful Grapes. I'm looking at my ticket. I was like, "Is this a real ticket?" And so we go through this checkpoint, and we get through, and we're just like going on, and he's talking some more about the Dreadful Grapes and different stuff. I'm like, this is getting weird. We go through another checkpoint, and we're about to go to the doors and get to the last one. As we get to the last one, he's like, "All right, man, I'll see you inside. I got to go over here." And I was like, what the fuck? So I was like, okay, with this last one, so I'm giving the ticket, because I just showed the ticket before. Now I'm giving them the ticket for them to tear in half. And I'm like, well, the worst they're going to do is kick me out. I'm sure they're kicking people out left and right.
Yeah.
They didn't kick me out. They let me in. There was no problem. It was like all this this guy's just trying to make me paranoid or something, or I was just so high that I didn't know what the fuck was going on. Maybe I wigged him out for all I know. Like, this fucking hippie is crazy. He's like, he's going to kill me. It's like Charles Manson over here.
Just got distracted by something else, a chick or something.
Yeah,
and
anything's
probably just went
possible.
wandering off of that,
It did end up being a lovely time. I was high as
There you go.
fuck. And I went and I sat on a purple cloud and I watched the Grateful Dead play things. And
Oh,
it was,
cool.
yeah,
That sounds like a cool story to me.
it was lots of fun. And then I am in Oakland alone.
Oh.
Yep.
Oh shit!
Yep.
All
I'm
your
in-
friends.
I'm in Oakland alone, and
Oh,
and the concert's over. I'm like, fuck, what do I do now? I actually don't know. All my stuff is in that car, including my weed.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, these people aren't going to stick around here very long. Eventually, I could probably find it, if everyone does filter out, But as it so happens, in that crowd, I just walk right into one of the dudes that I'm with.
Oh
Like,
shit!
Thank God.
yeah, dude. Yeah, it was just like that. I was like, oh my God. It's like, dude, I was just thinking about how I could never find you guys again, and then here you are. Yeah,
nice.
I've had a few moments like that in my life, which are just crazy. It's like, how did that happen? That's just nuts. How did we all end up here in this moment? The moment that you and I and Nathan ended up on that street on 56th Street, and as soon as we got out of a car, then our friend Dean pulls up and was just like, "What the fuck are you guys doing here?"
Oh yeah, that's several times like that where it's just like, it's almost like it was choreographed.
Yeah, well, that whole night was
Yeah,
like
it
that.
was
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
all plotted out the entire time, and we just got one help to next help to next help to next help with no effort, not even asking.
Nice.
Yep.
It was awesome.
Guided adventure.
Well,
That
that's why
little
adventures can be fun sometimes. Nowadays, it's not as
safe.
It's not as safe, but I mean, I think it can still be done. I just think that you just gotta be a little bit more wary of it. Shit.
I think that is just a good rule of life for everything. We partied a lot when we were younger, but we also did it in somewhat more controlled environments. See, that was kind of something that was instilled in me early on, was just like, my mom started catching on to me partying early on and didn't really jibe with her, but like I was nearly out of control.
Oh yeah, I was
So,
there. I remember. Yeah.
By allowing it to happen in the home to a certain extent. It was keeping me from running wild in the streets and getting into trouble.
Yeah.
Which
And that was actually keeping all of us
Uh-huh.
from getting into trouble too.
And that-
because
but
we were
that-
all hanging out at your house. Or
that instilled that in a lot of us, that protectiveness and that because there was always a lot of people going, I don't know about that. You know, this is all cool, but this thing is maybe going over the edge here, or you know, things that would make people pass out and do the fish. It's like maybe we should maybe not pass out so much. We're partying too hard there. So it's gone over the edge.
I was always. I never partied.
Never partied.
I didn't really. I partied, but I wasn't really a partier. I was scared. I didn't like people and how they were at the time that I was growing up. I didn't feel comfortable doing it. Oddly, I saw it a lot growing up with my parents, and I just saw how that was.
Yeah.
And so when it came to my time to do it, I was like, "Oh, this ain't right."
Oh,
That's
yeah.
not right. I was just taught not to do it.
I can just look at different periods of time in history and how that influenced different things like that. Like the 60s, and you come out of that, and there was a big kind of backlash in the 70s and early 80s to where it got to complete, Reagan suit, conservative, just straight, laced, no more funny business. We really need to get control of things because things were getting out of control. And then it just swayed back the other way in the 90s again to like, party, woo, strippers and tattoos and fucking get loaded and pour beer all over our tits and fuck, woo, and Girls Gone Wild, and it's like now, and then it's like, oh no, that maybe we should rein it in.
Yeah, calm it down and
Yes. It's a little too much too. It's not every weekend is not spring break.
Yeah.
Pretty soon Cocaine Tuesdays will turn into Cocaine Wednesdays and Cocaine Thursdays too.
Yeah.
You got to just fucking
chill out,
tone it down, bro. Nope.
Oh.
Well, I think we should start to wrap our show up. I think that we're done for the day.
Okay. It's been good.
Yes. It's been a wacky day.
Mm-hmm.
We'll blame Cody.
Yep, it's all Cody's fault.
Yep.
As most things are.
Cody, your fault. But we still like you.
Oh, there's my phone again, huh?
Right.
So, thanks for everything. For
the rain and everything, it was perfect.
Yep. Thanks for watching and listening to the show and for all of your support. Be sure to find the bands in the links in the descriptions down below and go and follow those bands and like those bands' pages and listen to their songs and buy their merchandise and their albums and go to their shows if they're still performing, or find the bands that they might be in now that are performing. They're all over the place, these things.
They're everywhere.
It's all out there. We put a lot of stuff right at your fingertips here so that you can just go and say, hey, this is happening, this is happening. There's all these clubs around town and in the general area that are great to go and see shows at, and you can go see shows there all the time. That was something we didn't talk about. Was Art on the Ab was this last week too. It was just yesterday. We didn't talk about it, but that's okay because the show's over now.
Yep. Too late.
Yep.
Next week, maybe.
Maybe.
That might be outside though.
Well, we don't know what's going to happen.
We don't know.
We
With
gotta
this
figure that out.
rain.
We'll figure it out.
It's too early to tell.
Well, it's supposed to be 82 degrees next Monday.
Yeah, that's what you were saying.
So yeah. So we'll figure it out.
Okay.
Anyways, toodles.
So you know there's a girl who's new in town. Well, you feels like the first time that the sun shines in the spring. Yeah, you got me feeling quite alright no matter what my day may bring. And I know what I want when I see you looking right back at me. Tell me why should I lie when I know you want me to? Yeah, yes I know you want me to. Oh. Get away, yeah. Ooh, I wanna make love every day, yeah. Ooh, I wanna love you every way, yeah, I can, and you know I'll do it, yeah. I can remember when I felt so alive. Every single time you look at me, I'm melting in your eyes. If I say, come away to a place where we can be alone, yeah. Tell me why should I lie when I know you wanted to? Oh, yes I know you wanted to, yeah. Ooh, baby, we should get away. Ooh, I wanna make love every day, yeah. Ooh, I wanna love you every way, yeah I can, and you know I'll do it, yeah. Yes you know I'll do it, honey let's get to it. Cause I feel like grooving. Oh, I can tell you, baby, that it don't take flowers to a diamond ring. But if you play me right, well, you can make me sing. Yeah, you know what I mean. And baby, I want you. Tell me why should I lie when I know you want me to? Oh, yes, I know you want me. Yeah. Ooh, maybe we should get away. Let's get away. Ooh, I told you lately, yeah. And you drive me crazy. Ooh, I'll let you what you do to me. Yeah. Ooh.
job and move on out of here. Find another run downtown and start my life up there. But then I see you on the street when I leave the mandolin, and I order another coffee just in case you're coming in. Oh girl, you got me hanging on this place. Oh girl, you got me hanging on this place. Oh girl, you got me hanging on this place. Oh girl, you got me hanging on this place. It's a rare thing I know, but it fills my heart up so. Yeah, girl, the days you pass my way are like sunshine in Tacoma. Sometimes the gray and muck's too much and whiskey keeps me warm. I pull on thoughts of you as much as the bottle by my arm. Someday I'm gonna make you mine, I'll take you to the beach. But this ain't California, bring a heavy coat and a nice one please. Girl, you got me hanging on this place. Oh girl, you got me hanging on this place. Oh girl, you got me hanging on this place. Oh girl, you got me hanging on this place. It's a rare thing I know, but it fills my heart up so. Yeah, girl, the days you pass my way are the sunshine in Tacoma. Sunshine in Tacoma. It's a rare thing I know, but it fills my heart up so. Yeah, girl, the days you pass my way are like sunshine in Tacoma.
You don't think there are monsters in this world? You don't believe people are evil? I'll show you evil.
I would if I could, but I can't, so I don't. Stop this madness, put him in a grave with a decapitated head. I'm a resurrected plastic. Some measures drastic. I swing the axe back and let him have it. Then grab and stab him and hack him up with this rusty hatchet. You can't imagine the things I've done, the things that happen. It's like I'm trapped in this evil mind, way beyond rapping. A bad man, immortalized through all his actions. Because the bodies are always rotting in smaller fractions. The satisfaction I have when I see people's reactions. So breaking news on the television has people gasping. The crime is fast, but effects that it has are everlasting. They try and sometimes I'm close, but never catch me. They can't arrest me, a Lucid beneath the rain and thunder. I've got the key to hell and half a mind to pull you under the crime scene. And detectives get confused and flustered because they know that they're dealing with a motherfucking monster.
The monster is feeding, soon you won't be breathing. On your neck, he's fighting. There's no use in fighting. Contusions, lacerations, infection, infestations. Your body won't be found, 'cause it's deep in the ground. This morning, lying in the field, laying next to a man that I killed. I bit through his neck into his throat, then I bit till I made his ass choke. Rip the body open, grabbing out the meat. I love the shit when I start to eat. Moving out of town, gotta do it discreet. When the body's burned, the job's complete. The town search parties never found a trace. I'm obsessed with the hunt and chase. The body parts, all my trophies, keep to myself so no one knows me. The bodies hang in a freezer with more stabs than Julius Caesar. Cutting them up, eating them up. A sick fuck when I rip they gut. You don't wanna mess with a kid like me. Got you screaming like a banshee. Split your throat when the screaming stops. I don't want you calling the cops. There's no need for you breathing. Cut you up and start to eating. I'ma kill without a reason. Get ready, bitch, it's killing season. Population going down, 6 feet deep into the ground. You won't even hear a sound when I beat your ass down. I'm a killer, this is true. No sympathy when I'm killing you. Bury you deep, it's what I do. If you got a problem, fuck you. The monster is feeding, soon you won't be breathing. On your neck, he's fighting. There's no use in fighting. Contusions, lacerations, infection, infestations. Your body won't be found, 'cause it's deep in the ground. The monster is feeding, soon you won't be breathing. On your neck, he's fighting. There's no use in fighting. Contusions, lacerations, infection, infestations. Your body won't be found, 'cause it's deep in the ground.